Hello students, welcome to StudyIQ. So in this session, as we have discussed in the previous session, we will start with sociological thinkers. Okay, so we have already covered the first 3 chapters, and then we have also talked about the stratification, which is actually the 5th chapter. So 4 chapters we have completed, and we have seen stratification, the concepts, the introduction, the dimensions of stratification, theories of stratification. So actually I have introduced the theories already there, and few of the thinkers like Weber, we have seen the Weberian theory of stratification, and then we have discussed about Marx or the conflict theory of stratification. So I have given you an introduction to the thinkers over there, and we have also talked about Parson theory of stratification, W.L. Warner theory, Davis and Moore theory. Okay, so out of which the two who are important is Marxian theory and the Weberian theory. So that we have already done. So you have some idea about Marx and Weber already. So here what I'll do is I'll formally start the 4th chapter, that is thinkers, that comes around your 60% of your syllabus directly, and if you see, or if you ask me, indirectly, that's around your 80 to 90%, because first 3 chapters you will have a better understanding if you know thinkers. Positivism, it's all about approach of Durkheim, Marx, etc. So that is related to thinkers. If you know thinkers, you can write positivism. Non-positivism, again connected to Weber, Mead, etc. We are going to study them here. So positivism, non-positivism. Quantitative, qualitative method, if you see, that is also connected to the thinkers' different methods. For example, Durkheim was using quantitative techniques like statistical techniques, etc. in his theory of suicide. So you will get a lot of examples to write. Okay, and then qualitative methods, if you see, Weber's approach was to hand ideal types, etc. So you will get a lot of approach and you will get a lot of examples and a better understanding from thinkers on all these topics. Again, if you get the question on scope of sociology, you can write it beautifully from the thinkers only. And if you can compare sociology with other social sciences, whether it is economy, political science, psychology. If it is economy, you can use Marx. Marx is talking about division of labor. Durkheim was talking about division of labor. Division of labor is something connected to economy. It is understood as economic concept to increase productivity, but we are discussing this in sociology. So you can make that fundamental connection now between economy and sociology. Also Weber's theory of capitalism you can add. Okay, then if it is psychology, Weber is talking about studying internal meanings. So psychology is also studying internal meanings. Okay, and suicide, Durkheim's theory of suicide, if you see, earlier suicide is something which is understood as psychological, right? So here we are going to understand it as sociological. So I'm saying, again, if you see in the if you proceed further in the next chapter, work and economic life, the first topic itself is organization of work in different society. Once we study Marxian theory, it's done. You will understand what was ancient society, what was the organization in feudal society, what in capitalist society, etc. You will understand easily. Then again, if you move to kinship, the various concepts given by thinkers is directly applied over there. And when it comes to religion, the first topic there is actually theories of religion. So here in thinkers only you are studying Durkheim theory of religion, Marxian understanding of religion, Weber's theory of religion, you will see here. Okay, so all these we will be studying here only. And then social change, if you see the chapter of social change, there also you can see theories of social change. Here I will be talking about theories of social change by Weber, Durkheim, Marx, Merton and Parson. All these will be discussed. So when I'm saying thinkers, I'm talking about close to 80 to 90% of your syllabus. So, and I guarantee you, once you complete thinkers with me, you will be in a position to score very high mark in your paper 1. Okay, so take it for granted, just complete the syllabus with me, and I'll do it in the most effective way. With all my experience, I'll take this particular chapter. Okay, so this is my strong area, thinkers. So that's why I can tell you, I can convince you that you will get so good mark in your exam from paper 1. Paper 2, actually nobody can guarantee you. Even if you complete the syllabus, nobody can guarantee you marks. But in paper 1, I can guarantee you, and I can make sure that you will score also. Only thing is that you need to have some better writing practice. You need to write few tests. So with that you can improve, and nobody can change any concepts that you're going to learn, and you're going to learn all the concepts in the best possible way. Okay, so we will start with thinkers. formally I'm starting with thinkers, you can have full faith on me, and I'll take all the effort from your side. You don't want to read anything else for thinkers, okay? Whatever notes I'm giving, whatever PDF is there, you just listen to the discussion that we're going to take, and this discussion itself is enough for you to understand. Apart from that, there is no point in reading the complicated textbooks. You read the textbooks, you won't understand anything. Ritzer, okay, all these textbooks, it is very difficult for you to follow, and it is time waste. If you understood the session, that itself is enough to understand all the thinkers, okay? So it's a promise, I'm telling you, I'll try my best to make you understand each and every thinkers, and you will not face any problem in thinkers and in paper 1 in general, okay? So let's get started with thinkers. Now, before I start the session, here I'm going to talk about all the thinkers. I'm not starting any thinker specifically. I'm going to introduce all the thinkers to you. So this is actually an introductory session to the thinkers. So I'll talk about all the 6 thinkers here. I'll talk about Marx, I'll talk about Weber, I'll talk about Durkheim, I'll talk about Parson, Merton and Mead. So I'll give you a brief idea about all these thinkers. I'll tell you what are the perspective used by these thinkers. I'll tell you the methodologies of these thinkers. I'll tell you the subject matter of these thinkers. I'll also tell you the socio-economic political condition or the social context in which they are writing. So these are, the background information that I am sharing, and basically all these things are going to be studied in detail in each thinkers. So in case if you feel uncomfortable with this discussion, you don't want to worry about that. I've promised you already that you will not face any problem in thinkers. I'll use certain, when I'm talking about perspective, I use certain perspectives here, so you may not understand that at this point of time, but you will for sure understand that once we're done with the thinkers. Similarly, when we talk about methods, I'll take some methods as example, okay, because what I'm going to do here is what I'm going to do in future. I'm trying to consolidate. So when we talk about methods, I'll talk about some methods of Weber you might not have heard, like Verstehen, ideal types, causal pluralism, causal probabilism, comparative analysis, and indirect experiment, multivariate analysis. So now again, these are looking difficult only in the name. When it comes to the actual method, it's so easy. For example, when we talk about Verstehen is nothing but comprehension. Okay, but that name is difficult. And one more thing is Weber himself never used this method. So we don't know the possible applicability or the logical applicability of this method also. So it is very easy. All these are very easy. You will not face any problem. But this is a point which I want to tell you in the beginning. Don't be confused. Don't be worried when I'm taking all these terms here, because we are going to do all these in detail. Okay, so let's get started. So these are the thinkers. Karl Marx, he's a German sociologist. There's a productive year 1840 to 83, in which most productive year or the most active period is 1840 to 80. Okay, then Emile Durkheim, he's a French sociologist. There's a productive year. This is not important. I'm just discussing this. Max Weber is a German sociologist. G.H. Mead, Parson and Merton all were American sociologists. Okay, so these are the 6 thinkers that we need to study now. So if you see here, first we will start with socio-economic and political condition. See, when the early thinkers like Weber, Marx and Durkheim, when they were writing within the context of, the social problems that were faced by medieval Europe, right? When we discussed about emergence of sociology, I've discussed certain social problems. The society was in total chaos, like there was social disorder, there was total turmoil, especially in French society. There are problems with respect to industrialization and democratization and altogether modernization. Modernization or modernity was not that smooth. It came to be associated with large number of social problems. Industrialization was not that smooth. It came to be associated with certain problems, like the workers working in inhuman working condition, with poor working condition, with less wages and more working hours. Okay, so they are suffering. Slums emerged around factories. Okay, and then nuclear families emerged because of migration, and a lot of instances of domestic violence, breakages, pickpocketing, new types of crime, new types of poverty, deprivation. So all these were problems at that time. And then success of democracy was also a big question. So there was total uncertainty related to the success of democracy, especially in societies like France, which is preceded by a revolution. In societies like England, the democracy, the transition was gradual, but France, it was preceded by a revolution. So the people are so much uncertain about the success of democracy, and that also created tension corruption among the minds of the individuals, and that led to a lot of social disorder and social tension, and the French society was in total social, total chaos at that point of time. We have discussed all these when we discussed about emergence of sociology. So here we are saying exactly the same thing. When these three were writing, they formulated their thoughts in the context of socio-economic and political chaos in European society. Europe was witnessing a drastic transformation due to industrialization and democratization in particular, and modernization in general. As I've told you, modernization is a broader concept. Industrialization, democratization, etc. is part of modernity. Okay, these thinkers attempted to address the problem of social order faced by different countries of Europe. So main concern of these writers, or these thinkers' writings, is actually how to maintain the social order. You can see Marx is talking about maintenance of social order. Durkheim was talking about maintenance of social order. So solutions to the problem is actually discussed by these two thinkers, especially Marx. And when it comes to Weber, he is not providing any solutions. Rather, he is only interested in understanding the problem. But what I'm saying is the context in which they are writing. The context in which they are writing is this: when Europe was witnessing large number of social problems. Okay, so that's the context. And then their response to the situation was different in terms of use of different perspective, methods and subject matter. See, we are saying although these thinkers wrote in the similar context, but their response is different. How it is different? For example, when Marx is writing, Marx trying to see everything in a conflict perspective. Conflict perspective means it's a kind of radical perspective, trying to identify the dysfunctions of any social phenomena. For example, he tried to identify religion as dysfunctional, family as dysfunctional, education as dysfunctional. All these are fulfilling the interest of capitalist or the upper class or the bourgeois, according to Marx. Religion, because of religion only, religion is spreading or propagating a false belief that if you suffer maximum in this world, you will get heaven in the next world. So it is actually created by the capitalist to suit their interests, so that the workers are ready to get exploited in this capitalist society. Religion is a hurt of hurtless world, soul of soulless condition, and it's just an opium of masses. It's opiating the masses so that Marx are ready to face exploitation. Similarly, family also is actually created by capitalists, because of family only you are going to work and you are getting exploited over there. Otherwise, if family is not there, you are not ready to get exploited. You can take leave, you can take break. Now you need to be working because your family have to survive, and you may be the only breadwinner of the family, so you have to face all the exploitation faced from the capitalist society. Similarly, the kind of education system which is so developed by the capitalist to suit their interests, so that the labors will be created. Okay, so again, constitution is seen as a document of bourgeois, parliament is seen as executive committee of bourgeois. Okay, so this is a kind of understanding what Marx actually developed. See, don't worry, all these words that I've used, you will understand it in a much better way when we discuss about Marx. I'll take 4 days, 4 sessions, so 4 to 5 sessions for Marx, and you will understand Marx better than, already you might have something related to Marx in your mind, and I will change your entire perspective towards Marx. You will start loving Marx. Again, you may love Marx or hate Marx, but one thing is for sure, you cannot ignore Marx. Okay, the concerns raised by Marx, anytime it will be there. Okay, till the time poverty, unemployment, exploitation, exclusion, all these things exist, the concerns raised by Marx will always stand. Okay, whether socialism, communism came into existence or not is not a question. The concerns of Marx is always relevant. At any point of time, if poverty is there, it is relevant. Unemployment is there, exploitation is there, poverty is there, exploitation by man is there, Marx is relevant. Okay. So that's a conflict perspective. What I'm saying is their approach is different based on different perspective. For example, when Durkheim was writing, he is using a functionalist perspective, and he will try to identify everything in functional terms. Like in case of stratification, we have seen inequalities identified in the functional term. Inequalities are seen something as, fulfilling certain functions, vital functions in the functioning of society. So inequalities are seen as something inevitable and very essential for the survival of the society. For Durkheim, certain rate of crime is normal in society, certain rate of suicide is normal in society. So all these approach, I have already given you an introduction in the chapter of stratification. That's why, to make it slightly easier, I have discussed stratification first. So if you missed out those videos, you have to watch that video so that it will be very easy for you. Otherwise also, I'm taking it so independently, you will not face any problem, but it will be much better if you can come to this chapter after watching all the previous chapters. I don't know all the chapters are uploaded or not, but whatever is available, you watch all that videos and then come to this video. If you missed out any of the videos, you can get in touch with me here. This is my Instagram ID, or you will get all the videos in the Telegram channel. Just join the Telegram channel. So Zia Safir, that's my Telegram channel, or Instagram ID, or this is my Facebook ID also, or you can get me in Zia IAS. This is also my Facebook page. So you can get in touch with me in any of this if you want to write test series with me, sociology or general studies. Okay, so you can contact me. This is my number, 98955 77775 9790 892 697. In any of this, you can WhatsApp me, Telegram me, you can call me. Okay, so if you wish to write the test series, if you need a personal mentorship or guidance, or if you need classes, regular classes or live classes, online classes, anyway you are getting in StudyIQ. Apart from that, if you need any help, not only related to sociology, ethics also, okay, we have I'll be doing that videos. I've already done that videos available in Telegram channel. Quantitative aptitude is there, ethics is there, complete history I have done, complete economy I have done. So all these are available in the Telegram channel. So you just join the Telegram channel. Okay, you get all the missed videos also if you're watching me for the first time. Otherwise, I'm expecting that you might have already joined. Okay, so so perspective, I hope you understood. And when it comes to methods, I have told you Durkheim using certain methods like indirect experiment, multivariate analysis, etc. Weber using certain methods like Verstehen, causal pluralism, causal probabilism, ideal types, comparative analysis, etc. Again, subject matter also is different for these people. Weber give importance to individual, and studying social action is the subject matter according to Weber. For Durkheim, the subject matter is society, the external reality. Weber, the internal reality and the social action. For Durkheim, social facts, that is the external reality. And Durkheim give importance to society. Weber give importance to individual. So external reality, internal reality, all these are what you have seen in case of positivism, non-positivism, micro, macro, scientific, humanistic, quantitative, qualitative. That difference you can see basically because of the subject matter. Okay, and you will better understand that when we discuss about these thinkers. So even still, if you are facing any problem with respect to positivism and non-positivism, I don't think any reason why you face this problem. If you attended that lecture, it is actually complete in itself. If you cannot understand there, any other class you cannot understand. I'm sure about that. Okay, see, it's not arrogance, don't take it in that way. Even before also I used to tell this, it's a confidence, and this confidence is what I'm passing on to you. Conceptually, I'm very strong in paper 1 sociology, so whatever concept that we are discussing, I don't think why you should face a problem. We are discussing it in the best possible way. So understand the concepts, and then you can write as a sociologist. You need to write your answer as a sociologist. Just don't write anything which you have read from the textbook or from your notes or coaching material or from the classes. Understand the concepts and try to develop it in your way. That's what exactly I'm trying to do. I'm talking most of the time rather than, even I'm not dictating or I'm not giving you the notes, just because I'm spending more time in explaining. So understand the concepts, and that should be there in your mind. Once you understood, see, if you attend all these lectures, so far something is already there in your mind related to sociology, and that knowledge itself is so good even before we move on to thinkers. So you can compare it with many of your friends also. So I'm expecting you are going at a very good pace if you're following the lecture, and I'm sure about that. Okay, so you will not face any problem in sociology, especially paper 1. Paper 2, I can't guarantee you, nobody can tell you anything. Okay, even in my case also, in my first attempt I actually got 170 plus in paper 2, and then immediately next year it was reduced to 130. Don't know what happened, but in paper 1 I got 150 plus consistently all the 3 times. Okay, so paper 2 you can't say anything. How is it varying? And even the people who don't really know about sociology, they used to score 160, 170, 180 in paper 2. So how people are getting in paper 2, it is very much subjective, but we will do it in better way. I'll do it, but nobody can guarantee you. But I can guarantee you in paper 1, I can predict what the questions will be asked, and I can tell you what you need to write. So when you're writing the answers to me, when you're writing the test series and everything, I can tell you what to write and what not to write. Okay, so in that way, paper 1, we can make sure that you'll score 150 plus, and that itself will be so good. Okay, paper 2, I'm expecting that everybody will score, but paper 2, anybody can score average, but to go to that extreme, it's not that easy as paper 1. Okay, sometimes luckily also you may go to that extreme, but nobody can predict paper 2. You cannot predict paper. I cannot take a strategy that paper 2 I will score this much. If at all you can make a strategy, that should be in paper 1. Paper 1 I can make a strategy, I'll score 160 plus or 170 plus. You can make that strategy. Okay, so what I'm saying is all these are writing in the similar context, but different approaches you will see. Now Mead, who is an American socio-psychologist, intended to develop a science of society which could solve the social problems. American society during first half of 20th century was an emerging welfare state. The solution to social problem was one of the most important challenges before the welfare state, and the Talcott Parsons Merton writings in 1940s had an entirely different context compared to the other thinkers. Now the colonialism is a thing of past, international institutions are established, okay, supremacy of West started challenging. So they are writing in an entirely different context. Colonialism was a thing of past, and welfare state was established in almost all the countries. International institutions like UN, IMF, World Bank, GATT, all these were established. Okay, now people started challenging the supremacy of West. Okay, both were concerned about maintenance of social order, Merton and Parson also, and developing guides to planning was more important at this point of time, and more humanistic approach towards understanding the society you can see in their writings. In general, Marx, Weber, Durkheim, Mead are called modern sociologists, whereas Parson and Merton is known as later sociologist, even sometimes contemporary sociologist. Modern sociologist means, so then who are the initial sociologists? The Auguste Comte, Herbert Spencer. We talked about Saint Simon, Auguste Comte, Herbert Spencer before, no? So they are the initial sociologists. Weber and Durkheim is known as actually fathers of modern sociology. Marx is not a pure sociologist. He is more like an economist or a philosopher or a political scientist, okay? But his concern towards society, and that's the reason why we consider him a sociologist. And when sociology, I've told you, it is a very young discipline, relatively young discipline compared to any other social sciences. So initially, we need some thinkers and we need some relevant thinkers and relevant theories. So we borrowed actually Marx to sociology actually. He is not a pure sociologist, but Weber, Durkheim, then Parson, Merton, they are pure sociologists. Mead is a social psychologist, okay? So out of this, Marx never called himself as sociologist. Yes, Mead preferred to call himself as socio-psychologist. Others were pure sociologists. Now let's look into the perspective. Already I've given you the glimpse of it. Conflict perspective by Marx, functional perspective by Durkheim, and Weber used an interpretive approach, interpretive understanding of social action. Mead uses a symbolic interactionism. All these we are going to study in detail. Don't worry about these words, okay? Then Parson and Merton again use functionalism. Merton is actually belong to the neo-functionalist school, okay? So he makes some modifications in functionalism, and from there neo-functionalism starts. Actually, Parson take functionalism to its logical conclusion, and when it comes to Merton, neo-functionalism. So this is what we are going to see in thinkers. Now let's read out the perspective. Different thinkers approach the subject matter of sociology from different viewpoints. Due to this, even if they are writing in the similar context, contrasting theories and often contradictory were developed. I've told you, religion, Marx is talking about dysfunction, but Durkheim is highlighting the integrative aspects of religion. Durkheim carried forward a functional perspective initiated by Comte and Spencer. Later on, Parson and Merton gave important contribution to the development of functionalism, and Merton developed a neo-functionalist perspective. Marx introduced conflict perspective as an entirely new and radical approach towards understanding the society. Under the influence of Darwin's theory of biological evolution, the initial sociologists frequently used evolutionary perspective. So this is one of the initial perspective used in sociology. Okay. When we study about Marx, I'll talk about a theory, historical materialism or mode of production. In that, we'll try to understand the evolution of society, starting from ancient mode of production or primitive communism to ancient mode of production, which is based on master-slave relationship, then to feudal mode of production, which is based on lords and serf, and then to capitalism, which is based on bourgeois and proletariat, or the capitalist and the worker, to the futuristic mode of production in terms of socialism, where only one class, and to communism, there is no class. So this is actually an evolutionary model of society. Okay, we will be discussing this. You will study it very easy only. At this point, it may look difficult, but it is going to be very easy after the explanation. Okay, so evolutionary, even when Durkheim also using this in his theory of division of labor. Okay, then Parson also using this in his theory, the grand theory, and Mead is also using evolutionary perspective in his theory of mind, self, and society. So that is what actually written here. I have told you already. Parson also developed grand evolutionary theory. Mead also developed a comprehensive evolutionary theory. All these theories we are going to study. Max Weber introduced which perspective? Interpretive perspective, using a micro approach. He emphasized on studying the internal meanings, motives, and values held by the individual. Mead laid foundation of understanding society in terms of interaction between people, and this perspective later on came to be known as symbolic interactionism. So we have talked about Durkheim. Durkheim was a functionalist. Parson was a functionalist. Merton also functionalist, neo-functionalism. Marx, conflict perspective. Weber, interpretive sociology, interpretive perspective. Mead, symbolic interactionism. And we have also discussed about evolutionary perspective. So apart from this, Marx and Durkheim were macro sociologists. They gave importance to society, study external reality. Weber and Mead were micro sociologists, like importance to individual. Parson and Merton combined two perspectives. That is an integrated approach. Okay. So here methods. The establishment of society as a distinct discipline. It's not society, this is sociology. I'll correct it when I give you the PDF. Okay. So distinct discipline and search for specific methods can be seen in the writings of all thinkers. Weber and Durkheim framed specific methods to be used in sociology. Okay. So, and you can add examples. I'm not adding it here because you'll be worried, or you'll be facing some difficulty if you see at this point of time. It's actually the methods that we have discussed, like Verstehen, ideal types, causal pluralism, causal probabilism, comparative analysis, multivariate analysis, single variate analysis, indirect experiment, or statistical techniques. Everything can come here, and all these can be asked as a separate short answers also. And I will deal with everything in your theories, in your thinkers. Okay, so you don't face any problem with any of the methods, any of the perspectives, any of the theories. Okay, so Marx also developed a method for studying the society, which later on becomes a part of sociological method. Merton developed a functional paradigm, but Parson was more involved in abstract theorization without practically using specific methods. Mead used quantitative methods. Okay, that's about methods. Now, views about individual and society. I've told you, Marx and Durkheim gave importance to society. They stressed on societal aspects and external realities. Okay, and individual behave according to society. Like, you are preparing for civil services because society demands it. That's their approach. On the other hand, Mead and Weber give importance to individual. The meanings developed in your mind is the reason why you are preparing for civil services. Okay, there may be external realities, but the meanings are the reason why you are preparing. Okay, but see, if it is external reality, everybody would have prepared for civil service, but you develop certain meanings. That's why they focus on studying individuals and internal meanings. This is micro approach. When it comes to Parson and Merton, they integrate the approach. Okay, so they say both is required. If you are studying only external aspects, giving importance to society, or ignoring the individual internal, that's a partial understanding. Similarly, if you are studying only internal, you are ignoring the external aspect, the influence of society. Okay, so then that is also partial understanding. So they favored the exclusions favored by both the other groups. Like external as well as internal has to be considered. You should give importance to society as well as individual. Okay, so for a sociologist, the smallest part of subject matter is individual, and the largest unit is the society as a whole. Understanding the relation between individual and society has been the task of all thinkers. Individuals are woven into pattern of relationship in terms of certain social institutions like social groups, social institutions, social processes, family, friends, etc. Okay, thus forming society. So this pattern of relationship is very important. These patterns of relationships are mediated by social institutions, social groups, and social processes, etc. and we are supposed to study the pattern of relationships, okay, which are present as an integral dimension of society. Different thinkers had different views about primacy and supremacy of individual and society. Marx and Durkheim gave primacy to society over individual. For Durkheim, society is supreme and controls the individual. Society has its own existence irrespective of the will of the individual. So society will be there. It doesn't matter what you think, what you do, what actions you are doing. It doesn't matter. Society's existence is its own. It is sui generis. It came into existence, it's on, and it will stay like that. So for Durkheim, society is supreme and controls the individual. Society has its own existence irrespective of the will of the individual. That is, society came into existence, its own, sui generis. Marx understood society as a system of production having a structure. Society influences the individual consciousness and imposes limitations on his thinking. Both Mead and Weber gave primacy to individual. So Marx and Durkheim, society; Mead and Weber, individual. For Weber, social reality is constructed in terms of meanings attached by the actor to his action. So what you need to study? You should study the meanings attached by the actor to his action. Then establish the cause and effect relationship. That's the subject matter according to Weber. We will see this in detail. I'll show with examples. Don't worry. Mead understood the realities of society in terms of interaction taking place between individuals. Okay, so these interactions are the building blocks of society. Parson Merton, what they did, they developed an integrated approach by synthesizing the earlier viewpoints. Both are required. For them, both individual and society are part of the same process and cannot be separated. They are interdependent and complementary. Parson expressed these views in the dichotomy of motivational and value orientation. Don't worry about these words, I'll explain. Dichotomy of motivational and value orientation means both are there. You are preparing for civil services. One reason is your own motivation. That is what motivational orientation. The other reason is values of society. Society also love you to become IAS officer. Okay, that's the value orientation. So both are required. That is the reason why you are preparing for it. Any action can be understood in terms of your own motivation and the values of society. Okay. Similarly, Merton emphasis on manifest and latent function also show the same concern. So here also manifest, latent functions. You will understand later. Manifest means something which can be seen, direct functions. Latent, the indirect function. For example, when you are studying sociology with me, what is a manifest function? You will crack this exam. Okay, so you pass this exam as the manifest function. That's why you're studying. You crack this exam, you become an IAS officer or IPS officer. But what is a latent function? When you're studying this subject, sociology, the latent function is your perception towards everything related to society will change. The understanding of each social phenomena, social institution will change. You will understand family, religion, marriage, all these social institutions in a much different way than a common man. You will see caste system in a different perspective, with a different perception. So ultimately your personality will change like anything. Change means in a desirable direction. Your personality will improve and that will be reflected. You can see when you're writing an essay now and when you're writing an essay after completing sociology, both will be poles apart. And the way you can put your points in the interview board also will be with very good perspectives. Okay, so that is a latent function of studying sociology. One thing direct, you can score well as a very easy subject. You can complete the syllabus in 1.5 months easily. You can clear it. Okay, that is a manifest function. That's why you opted for this subject. Latent function, many other things are there. Okay, so I hope you understood. These are the studies we are going to, these are the theories that we are going to see. Historical materialism, mode of production, all these you can just go through it. Okay, all these we will discuss in detail. So there is no point in discussing at this point of time. Only names looks difficult, theories are so easy. So we are starting thinkers, and this is my favorite area, this is my strong area. I'm expecting once we complete the thinkers, I'll make sure that you will also be very strong in thinkers and in paper 1. Okay, and you will be, or you should be in a position to score 160 plus. See, if you are attending my class, then if you are not scoring 160 plus or 150 plus, it's like it should not be possible. Okay, so you should be in a position to score 160 plus. That's the objective, that's the idea. If you're not scoring, then it's very bad. Okay, because the kind of explanation and the kind of notes, do you think you don't want, I make sure that you don't want to read anything. I work more than you. Okay, so you don't want to read anything extra for thinkers, or maybe some chapters. I've told you before, politics and society, you can read Harlan Bose. Kinship, you can read Harlan Bose. Religion, you can read Harlan Bose. Apart from these 3 chapters, everything, I'll give you the complete notes. Nothing extra is required. Just trust me, and you see the notes, you will understand it already. You can compare it with the previous questions, you can compare it with the syllabus. It is complete in itself. Even those contents you cannot write completely in your paper. Okay, but I'm not stopping you from reading anything else. If you are just following me, that's what I'm saying. There are some students, there are many students who are just following me. Okay, if you're following me, you can trust my words and you can study whatever I'm giving only. That's enough. That's more than enough. Okay, so even those chapters also I'll tell you what are the important topics. Even for paper 2 also, like KL Sharma you need to read, Ram Ahuja you need to read, then Danagare, Ghanshyam Shah for social movement. But you cannot read, for example, modernization of Indian tradition. You cannot, and you don't want to read. It is not desirable that you need to read completely. Certain few pages you need to read. So that I have already done. That exercise I have already done. So I can tell you which pages you need to read. Okay, so that's how a teacher or a mentor, I don't want to be a teacher, I'm an accidental teacher, so I can be a good mentor, not a teacher. Okay, and what you need is a mentor, not a teacher. You can learn everything yourself. Only a mentor who can guide you is what is required, and that's why I'm here actually. Okay, so hope to see you guys. If you have any doubt, please feel free to call me. I've already given you my number, my contact ID, all these are there. So see you guys. Thank you. So that's about the session. I hope you understood everything that we have discussed today. If you have any doubt in any of the videos that we have discussed so far, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. Okay, or you can join the Telegram channel. You will get all my videos over there. Everything is there. Or you can see here, this is a Telegram channel, or this is the Instagram ID. These 2 are my Facebook page. You can get in touch with me in any of this. If you want to learn economy with me, or history with me, or general studies, any subjects, you can, if you need regular classes, you can get in touch with me, or the online classes are available with StudyIQ. You will get all those classes. Still, you will get my YouTube videos in this Telegram channel. Okay, so I hope you understood everything that we have discussed. So see you guys. Thank you.